Cheers, my friend.
Nice setup, by the way, of the equipment.
Oh,
we get a nice little total over there right now.
You know, we got a pretty special evening here tonight because
Yes.
you flew in from San Francisco. I flew in, I drove up from Pennsylvania. We started the week in different places, but on the way up here, you got into JFK, and I said, hey, see if you can find any place near Saddle Brook, New Jersey.
Yes.
And so, how did you find this gem?
You mean the what's the name of it?
The Shepherd
and the KnuckleHead.
And the KnuckleHead. Absolutely.
Okay, so for you craft beer fans, and that's who you are. That's who we're speaking to here. You need to use the Fine Craft Beer app.
I like the glasses, by the way. It's nighttime, but you never know when you need to pop those on.
Like this?
Yeah.
My poker face is not far away. It's right there. But for the video, I need it back here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Anyway, Fine Craft Beer app is really nice. Basically, you were driving your rental car, and I was in a taxi, and you didn't want to do while you're driving. So I
safety first.
Yep, always.
Yeah.
And I punched that sucker in there, and it wasn't pretty. All right. There are some that are, when you see one on Fine Craft Beer app that's red in red font, probably out of business.
Probably not good.
Or they're not even alive and well yet.
Or they might have Heineken. You know,
right.
Yeah.
But the good news is I went down to like number 6 and I saw the KnuckleHead one, and I said, wow, this looks at least worth a phone call. Yeah. And I called, and you know what? We like all types of beers that are really good, but I said, do you have any IPAs? And when she responded with, we have 16, and I went, hello. IPAs?
Hello.
She goes, yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
It's IPAs. And I went,
because
okay.
A lot of people, you're like, hey, no, India Pale Ale. No, no, it's a hoppy beer. You know, didn't have to go through that.
Or like, no, I'm asking you. And because they start to, it's almost like they're asking you what they have. And you're like, wait, aren't you the bartender?
Exactly.
But to hear that was like sometimes when we hear they have
Very
2 or
refreshing.
3, we have to ask a lot more questions.
Yeah, then we start saying, do you have any doubles?
Right.
How many double IPAs?
Right. Well, like, we only have 2. Yeah. So, so basically we found a nugget here in New Jersey.
No doubt. And this whole review is about this place. And then we're also going to do a review of a couple of really nice beers here. Yeah. But just to give you an idea, when we walked in, we were like, Andrew and I looked at each other. I looked at the wall. I looked at some of the tap handles, and I just felt like a kid at Christmas time. I mean, it was just, the level of excitement was palpable because I was like, wow, wait a minute. Not just East Coast beers, because we're on the East Coast right now, but, I mean, Sculpin IPA for crying out loud.
From San Diego, Ballast Point Brewery.
One of our favorites.
How about another one from Southern California, Green Flash?
Green Flash,
from West Coast. Yeah.
Nectar IPA. Yep. And then from the East Coast, one of your and I's favorite beers we reviewed
out of Ithaca.
From Manhattan when we were down there.
Ithaca Beer Company.
We had that Flower Power.
Flower Power.
Amazing IPA.
Yes, we did have that tonight.
And that's on tap.
Yeah,
and it just goes on and on and on.
And I want to add, as you see some of the photos come through here, not only do you see photos of the tap lineup, but you're going to see photos of the menu. Those are coming through right now, and I'll give you a little bit of time as you see these and say,
that beer menu is pretty sick.
And then, Max, you have a really good idea of square footage. Just give them an idea how big this little facility is.
This thing is probably less than, I'd have to say less than 800, maybe 600 square feet.
Okay, so
pretty small.
Would you agree, Max, we have never had this type of selection with this
small
size?
Of a joint. Yeah,
not even close,
The closest that comes to this would honestly be Tony's Darts Away in Burbank.
Yep.
But they're only California beers, and they got a great selection. But hey, this is all gloves are off here, baby.
I know.
I mean, you've got Southern Tier. You've got, I mean, all over the country, you've got some really great beers on tap here.
And I mean, just go back to Sculpin alone. To have that here, it's almost weird.
And Lagunitas, they got
Lagunitas
here. They got, on the East Coast, obviously, you got the Dogfish Heads. You've got
Founders.
Blue Point from up in, what's that? I think it's Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Yeah, I think
up
so.
there.
And then the Founders.
Founders from Michigan. I mean, there's a phenomenal selection of beers here. And I'll tell you what, if you're anywhere near Saddle Brook, New Jersey, which, you know, if you're anywhere in the Northeast corridor, you're kind of near here.
Yeah, it's 5 miles out of Saddle Brook, 5 miles away.
I would definitely put it on your list. It's actually called Haledon, New Jersey. We just found out from the owner. Chris is a great guy, by the way, telling us what they're doing. They're adding a steakhouse right next door here. Going to be adding a full menu, so that's some pretty exciting stuff.
They got a room about the same size next door, and they got some good cooks coming in. and he's excited about it. And now instead of just having beer, because they only have chips as far as food.
Yeah, we actually humped down to Jim's family restaurant about a block away, and got some good eats going. But it's going to be really nice to have this steak right here, and I think pairing some nice meat with some of the great beers he's got on tap. This is going to be a phenomenal place.
You know, and Max, cheers to this.
It is phenomenal.
Cheers to this place because we haven't done one of these in a while, and I think it's.
Yeah, because we're not only about craft beers, we're not only about breweries, although we do get access to some amazing backstage kind of brewery tours, but we're also about craft beer bars, and gosh, we've been known to find a few liquor stores that had some great selection to talk about, and this is worth talking about. I mean, for crying out loud, 60 micros on tap in a place that's
700 square feet.
Yeah, you're basically talking about a micro for every 10 square feet. I mean,
that's good. That's great to put it.
That's pretty amazing.
Trust me, you haven't found that before. We haven't found that before. So you know what? If you were to give this a mug rating, it's a 5. Because just to go down the street and look at the building, you would never expect that you'd have such an amazing selection to be able to try Nugget Nectar, the West Coast IPA,
the Double Trouble from
the Sculpin, the Double Trouble, the Blue
the WTF from Lagunitas,
and there's many more.
No Apology.
But
I mean,
it was very hard for us.
On and on and on and on.
It was very hard to make a decision each time.
It really was, and but it's been an enjoyable evening, and cheers to Chris and the team here at the
cheers to them.
Shepherd and the Knucklehead. We will be back here. This is a phenomenal joint. Cheers.
Hope to see you here soon. Cheers, fellas and ladies.